Grab a block or a rolled up towel. We're going to be using it for core work. So if you don't have a yoga block, it's fine. You just want something with a little bulk that we'll be using between the thighs to squeeze on. So now you kind of know what you're in for this morning. Let's go ahead and start. We'll begin seated as we usually do, so that we can check in with ourselves. I was going to say so that we can contemplate our navel, which we actually are going to be doing. We're going to be keeping our focus in our core today. So just finding a nice, straight, aligned spine. And even in doing this, you're going to feel your core engage. That's kind of our focus for today. As you feel your spine come into alignment, notice how there's a balance of contraction between the front of your torso and the back. That's what holds us upright, and also the sides, technically. So as you kind of feel yourself come into alignment, there's a balance of energies around your midsection. Focus on that for a moment. And then maintain your straight spine and focus on the rest of your body, just checking in, seeing what's going on throughout the entire organism. And then start to breathe a little slower and a little deeper. Ujjayi breathing would be great if you're good with that. And just kind of notice what your thought patterns are like. Notice what your emotions are at the moment. Notice your energy. And by that, I mean, do you have high energy or low energy? Is it jagged or smooth? Just your energy. Notice that. And then let's go ahead and set our intention for practice this morning. So when you're really clear about what you intend to create and receive in your yoga practice this morning, then you bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale through the mouth. And release the arms down. So, like I said, our emphasis this morning is going to be on our core. This is very centered around Manipura chakra, which is your solar plexus energy center. This is helping us offset full moon energy. The full moon technically occurs at 9:57 a.m. this morning, so we're pretty close to it. And so the idea is we're going to be generating some heat, we're going to be generating some energy, we're going to be stoking our metabolic fires, so to speak. So as we're in our seated position, we're going to start here. I'm going to have you do one round of Kapalabhati breathing. That's that really forceful abdominal contraction to push the air out. And then a passive inhale as we relax those muscles. So just keep front part of the abdomen lengthened. This is all through your nose. Let's do this. Inhale. Exhale completely through the nose. Another deep inhale. This time you want to empty the lungs halfway and begin. Just take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Good. Go ahead and come up to standing at the front of the mat. And as you do come to standing, I want you to be really conscious of your core. So you just start finding an aligned spine in Tadasana, mountain pose. You allow all of your muscles to engage, and that includes your core. And so I want you to feel your entire midsection. So we have abdominal muscles. There's actually two sets, one that runs vertically, rectus abdominis, one that runs across, kind of holding lower abdominal organs in, that's transversus abdominis. You've also got internal and external obliques at the sides of your waist, and you've got the erector spinae and several other muscles in the low back. All of that is your core. So as you find that straight aligned spine, you're gonna feel all of those muscles kind of hugging in. It's what keeps us upright. If those muscles had no tone, we would just topple over, because the only bone in our body in the midsection is the spine. There's nothing else there. So these muscles are super important. So just taking a moment to really feel your core engage. And then let's warm up the rest of the body a little bit, and then we'll focus on the core intermittently here. So let's inhale, reach the arms up, spread your fingers, lift your chest, maybe even look up. If it feels okay, you're gonna slightly roll the rib cage back. So what's going on here is more contraction in the back, which creates length in the front. Take one more big inhale and exhale here. And then inhale again, lift the chest. And as you exhale, bend your knees and fold forward. So when we're in a forward bend, now our abdomen is contracting and the back muscles are stretching. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Just kind of want you to be aware of how your core is functioning in every single thing that you do. Let's go ahead and plant fingertips by toe tips. Lift the chest and pull it forward for your half forward bend, and then fold all the way down. We're going to step back with the left foot. Hold your lunge for a moment. Keep your left hand planted. Take your right hand towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and bring your right hand down, drop your left knee, extend your right leg, flex the ankle and toes, just opening up that right hamstring. Bend your right knee, bring the arms up and overhead, tilt the pelvis back, and let your hips move forward. So now we're opening up the front of the left hip. Go ahead and bring both hands down inside your right foot. Come on to the left forearm, perhaps both, just depends on your body this morning. And then if you feel like you want to, you're welcome to turn the left toes under and take that left knee off the ground. Again, you don't have to, it's completely up to you. Now, if you've got your left forearm down, you're for sure keeping it down. If the right one's not down yet, you can have your right hand flat, because what we're going to do is just step that right leg back so that we're in a forearm plank. So I want you to just get your body in a nice straight line. Forearms are down. Now you're really feeling your core. And we're here for a few breaths. So I want you to really focus on what your body's doing. You don't want your bum to sag down. In other words, you don't want an arched back. You also don't want to stick your bum in the air, which would make it a dolphin. And we may be doing that later. But for now, body in a straight line. Take one more breath here. And then the next time you exhale, go ahead and lower yourself down. Slide your elbows forward, perhaps even a little bit more. Disengage your glutes. Enjoy a sphinx. So just lengthening out, low back. And then let's take our first downward facing dog. Press that tailbone up and back. And then step forward with your left foot. Hold your lunge for a moment. Keep the right hand planted. Take your left hand up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and bring your left hand down, drop the right knee down, extend your left leg, flex the ankle and toes. And then go ahead and bend the left knee, bring the arms up and overhead, pelvis tilts back, hips move forward so that we can find a little bit of opening on the front of the right hip. Bring both hands down inside your left foot. See if you can come onto your right forearm. Maybe the left, maybe not, just see what your body will do. And then purely optional is to turn right toes under and lift the right knee up. This time we're coming up onto the hands so that we can step forward to our standing forward bend. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So I want you to take just a moderately wide stance, maybe about the width of your mat. And you can rotate the toes out if you want to, doesn't really matter. We're just gonna be putting our hands on our thighs. And the reason we're doing this is we're gonna do a couple of rounds of Uddiyana Bandha. You guys have done this with me before. This is that really strong stomach lift. Uddiyana means flying up because all of this is gonna feel like it flies up into the rib cage. Quick reminder, we're breathing all of the air out and not breathing back in. It is so critical that you keep the air out of the lungs or you will not get Uddiyana Bandha. So we breathe all the air out, we'll push into the thighs to lift the rib cage, which creates a vacuum, right? Like we know that nature abhors a vacuum. So when your lungs are totally empty and you lift the rib cage, this is gonna slide up. We're just gonna hold it for like 1 or 2 seconds, relax the belly and breathe in, all right? And so just make sure you're not breathing in until you're done with your stomach lift. So here we go. Let's do 3 flying up blocks. Breathe in, breathe all of your air out, all of it. When you're empty, lift. Relax the belly, breathe in. 2 more at your own speed. As you finish out, just bring your feet together, palms together. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, back down. So you can either walk or step back to plank. Now, if you've got wrist issues, you can do your forearm plank again and modify the vinyasas. If your hands are okay with this, we're gonna hold this upper plank position for a few breaths. So your arms are straight, your shoulders are over your wrists. Ideally, your body is straight, no saggy backs. No down dogs yet. We're holding, we're breathing, we're feeling equal engagement in all of our muscles in the core. Now, if you're able to do Chaturanga Dandasana, even if that's with the knees on the ground, we're gonna do that and hold that for a 3 count. So on your next exhale, lower down and hold 2, 3. Then come into either upward facing dog or cobra and downward facing dog. Press the tailbone up and back. Stretch it back. Take your right leg straight behind you. Now on your next exhale, you're going to try and get your right knee to your nose, nose to knee. So there's a rounding of the back here. And then extend your right leg back out. Now the next time you exhale, you're going to try and get your right knee to your right armpit. Extend the leg back out. Next, exhale, right knee to left armpit. Extend that leg back out. And as you next exhale, step it through, up between the hands. Stay on your toes. We're just coming up into a high lunge. Arms are up and overhead. Pelvis tilts, chest is lifting, hips are dropping. Now from here, we're going to transition this into a warrior three. If you have a pretty deep lunge, you may need to hop your left foot forward a little bit. And then just extend left leg behind you as right leg begins to straighten. Core is very engaged here. Take 2 more deep, slow breaths. Then I'd like you to put your left foot back down where you got it. Arms are up and overhead. Again, your core is working when we're balancing, right? Bring your hands down on either side of the right foot, gaze forward. Straighten your right leg as much as you can. Take a break, stretch out your right hamstring. And then step it back to plank. Holding your plank again. Please remember to modify anything you need to modify. But now, if you're able to do Chaturanga, now we're going to up the ante a little bit. We're going to hold it for a 5 count if you can, even if the knees are dropped. Lower down and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Stretch. Left leg behind you in the air. 3-legged dog. Now, the next time you exhale, left knee to nose if you can, and nose to knee. Inhale, extend the leg back out. Then we're going left knee to left armpit. Extend the leg back out. Next time you exhale, left knee to right armpit. Extend the leg back out. And this time we step that left foot through between the hands. Go ahead and come on up, high lunge. Pelvis tilts, chest is lifting, hips are sinking. And again, we transition into warrior 3. Right leg extends, left leg straightens almost. You have a micro bend in that left knee. You don't want to lock it out. Right foot back down where you got it. Arms are up and overhead. Then we bring the hands to either side of the left foot, gaze forward, and begin to straighten that left leg. From here, go ahead and step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Turn sideways on your mat now. Take a little bit wider step, like moderately wide. Toes are rotated out again. So you've done a couple of Uddiyana Bandhas. Hopefully that went well for you because we're going to do it again. Except now we're going to do it in like a goddess squat. So we're going to inhale, exhale all of the air out, do Uddiyana Bandha as we press the arms to the side and drop. So you'll be lifting your chest to get that nice concave belly. So start with your palms together. Big inhale. Exhale all of your air out. And as you empty, bend the knees, arms to the side, Uddiyana Bandha. Release, straighten the legs, palms together. Now we're gonna do it with our arms overhead. Exhale. Bend your knees, reach overhead, Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, palms together. Go ahead and rotate the heels out. So now your feet are perfectly parallel. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Just fold forward for a moment. So this is a variation on Prasarita Padottanasana, wide angled standing forward bend. Just take a couple breaths. While you're still folded forward, release your hands to the ground. Walk them forward with the arms straight, but pull the tailbone back. So it should look like a wide-legged down dog. Take a breath here. And then walk your hands back onto the mat. And I want you to just see if you can engage your core really nicely here. So you're gonna look forward, so you got a flat back. Arms are out to the side like an airplane. Hold it, breathe. And then just come on up to standing and bring your feet together at the front of the mat. So from here, take a big inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up, and then exhale, back down. What I'd like you to do from here is just come to seated, grab your block or your towel, whatever you're using. You're gonna roll onto your back, don't worry, we're gonna be back up again. So middle width if you've got a block. If you have a rolled up towel, you'll just want it like, oh, what is that, about 6 inches or so diameter. So what we're gonna do is put this middle width between our thighs as close to our pubic bone as we can get it. Legs are extended straight up. So not the skinny width, not the wide width. And you want to get it really close to your pelvis. Legs are straight, feet are flexed, squeezing thighs together. You're gonna automatically feel your abdomen engage when you do that. Interlace your fingers behind your neck and point your elbows at the ceiling. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath, flatten your back by tilting the pelvis. Exhale, crunch, elbows towards thighs. Reach your feet for the ceiling. Squeeze your block, empty your lungs. Inhale down. Hold the breath, flatten the back. Exhale, crunch up. You're squeezing on that block. You're reaching your feet up. You're reaching your navel down. You're emptying your lungs. Inhale down. Hold the breath, flatten the back, crunch it up. You know what to do, have all those things happening. Inhale down. Hold your breath, flatten your back. Exhale, crunch, squeeze your block. Squeeze it, empty your lungs. 2 more, you guys, inhale down. Hold your breath, flatten your back, crunch, elbows to thighs, feet are active, block is squeezing, navel is contracting. Last one, inhale. Hold the breath, flatten the back, and crunch. As you finish, remove your block, rock yourself up to sitting, plant your hands, step it back to plank. You can do this as the forearm plank if you need to. Hold your plank. So only if you're able, we're gonna do 2 Chaturanga push-ups, but we're gonna hold Chaturanga. So if you can, just hang with me here. On your next exhale, lower down and hold, 2, 3. Press back into plank, hold, 2, 3. Lower down and hold, 2, 3. Press back into plank, hold, 2, 3. This last time, you just go through your regular flow. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, from here, we're going to shift back into a plank, and you should be able to do this from forearms if you need to. All I want you to do is bend your knees and hover them about 1 inch above the ground. Just hold that. Back is flat. Knees are not quite touching. And then go ahead and drop all the way down to your knees. If you're not on your forearms yet, come onto your forearms. But I want you to be very mindful here of finding the correct position for dolphin. We're going to do full dolphin to plank moves. It can be pretty challenging. If you have shoulder issues, be mindful of that. So make sure that your elbows are very close together. You should be able to wrap your hands around your upper triceps, your upper arms. You can either have your palms flat or interlace the fingers. I kind of recommend interlacing the fingers unless you have very strong serratus muscles. So here's what we're going to do. Step your feet back so that you're in a proper forearm plank here with fingers interlaced. Your shoulders are over your elbows. Now, as you exhale, push the tailbone up and back. Step your feet forward. Push the tailbone up and back even more. Now, this is going to be more challenging because as you move into plank here, your body's not going to want to go all the way down because of your shoulders. So there's more core engagement, but be mindful of shoulders. As you exhale, start to flatten back out. Good. And then press back into your dolphin. So here we go. Find the place where you can maintain shoulder stability and your core. And here we go. You're going to exhale, flatten your body out. Inhale, dolphin. Exhale, flatten your body out. Inhale, dolphin. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale into dolphin. Exhale, flatten your body into plank. Inhale into dolphin and hold. If you can, walk the feet even farther forward. Go ahead and drop to your knees. Come back up onto your hands, straight to downward facing dog. So from here, we're going to take the right foot forward, left foot flat, come up into warrior 2. Reverse your warrior, left hand on your left thigh, right arm up and over. So now what you're actually doing is contracting left obliques, stretching right obliques. Come back up, warrior 2. As you know, your core is very engaged and balanced. So just like that, we're going to lift off into half moon. Right hand plants, left leg extends, left arm reaches up. And we're going to try and just go right back into our warrior 2 using that control. And then from here, just swivel onto the left toes, high lunge. We're going to go back into warrior 3. And then it gets a little more challenging. From your warrior 3, your left hand is going to come to the ground. Right hand rotates up for revolved half moon. Left leg is extended behind you. Right hand is reaching for the ceiling. One more time. We go back to where we came from. High lunge. Left foot down, arms up and overhead. So the transitions are working your core, right? And then bring your hands to the mat, step back to plank. Take your vinyasa. Stretch for a moment in your down dog. And then we're taking left foot forward, this time right foot flat, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, right hand on your right thigh, left arm up and over. Come back up, you know what you're in for. Half moon first. Left hand to the ground, right hand to the ceiling, right leg extends behind you. Wobbly this morning. We go from this into our warrior two again. Then we transition into a high lunge. Transition from high lunge into warrior three. And then take the right hand down and rotate left hand towards the ceiling for revolved half moon. Back into your high lunge. Take the hands down, step back to plank, flow through your vinyasa. Drop to your knees. Come back onto your forearms, just traditional forearms, and step back to your forearm plank. So make sure your body's in a straight line. Your shoulders are directly over your elbows. Now, from here, we're just going to roll this into a side plank from the forearms. What I want you to do is stack your right foot on top of your left and flex the feet and take your right hand to the ceiling. So this helps you learn to flex the feet and stack them. Take one more breath. Bring your right forearm back down and just roll, stacking left foot on top of right, left hand to the ceiling. Bring it back down, hold your forearm plank. And then from here, just move into a downward facing dog. And stretch. Shift into your traditional plank. Lower down, and if you can, hold for a 3 count in Chaturanga. 1, 2, 3. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So if you have wrist issues, you're going to go back into your forearm plank and side plank. If your wrists are okay, this is the final hard thing you're going to do. You'll just roll into side plank on the left, right hand reaching for the ceiling, but stack your feet so that your core is working really hard. Take a couple breaths. Remember, you can do it from your forearm. Back into down dog. And then just roll to the right. Left foot stacks on top of right. So when you stack the feet, your core is really engaged. Breathe. Bring your left hand back down, downward facing dog. Press. Drop to your knees. We're going to arch and round the back in cat-cow stretches. And then pause. From here, you can either go straight to a downward facing dog or take one final vinyasa. And you can do it however you want to do it. From this final downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward to your standing forward bend. And then have a seat. legs extended. So just taking a moment in Dandasana and just see, can you keep your spine nice and straight this morning without using your hands? Is your core engaged enough? Now, part of that's going to have to do with tight hips, but if you can, lift your chest and see what this feels like. Good. And then from here, just an easy cross-legged position. We're going to do 3 more Uddiyana Bandhas. If you're cross-legged, you can push on your thighs to lift your chest. Remember, you mustn't breathe in once you empty your lungs. These will be your last Uddiyana Bandhas. Take an inhale, breathe it all out, and lift. Relax, breathe in, breathe it all out. Lift. Relax, breathe in. Pardon me, last one. Relax and breathe in. And then just like that, you get to roll onto your back. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. I know, no seated stretches. Crazy, right? That's because there's more fun to be had down here on the ground. So we're not quite done with our core work. Of course we're not. I'd like you to bring your legs at 90 degrees. 90 degrees at the ankles, 90 degrees at the knees, 90 degrees at the hips, right? So you just have all these beautiful right angles. And then all you're going to do is drop the legs open so your knees are straight out from the sides. Your shins are parallel and your feet are flexed out. This is like a little froggy leg, right? And then lace your fingers behind your neck, elbows point at the ceiling. We're going to take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're curling it all up. So your pubic bone is curling towards you. You're reaching the elbows through. You're emptying your lungs, keeping your legs active and aligned. Inhale down. Exhale, curl it up. Make sure your navel presses down. You're emptying your lungs. Legs are active. Inhale down. Exhale, curl it up. 2 more. Inhale down. Exhale, crunch. You're trying to get your shoulder blades off the floor. You're keeping your legs very active, completely emptying the lungs. Last one. Inhale. And exhale, crunch. You can bring your knees together, hug them in, rock side to side. We only have 1 more core exercise and then it's totally yummy stuff. And hopefully you guys remember doing this with me in class in person. I'll try and articulate it as well as I can. All right, so we've got thighs vertical, legs are bent, knees are directly over hips. We're going to keep the right leg like that. I want you to extend your left leg above the floor. It's not on the ground. It's just extended straight out, kind of parallel to the floor. Your left arm is going to reach over as though you're trying to reach beyond your right knee. So your left shoulder blade comes off the ground. Now here's where everything gets exciting. Your right arm reaches towards the ceiling, but you need to lift the right shoulder blade off the ground. You should feel this in your obliques. 2 more breaths, both shoulder blades are up. If you're doing it right, the right obliques are screaming. Good, come back down. Both knees bent, thighs are vertical. Let's go for the other side. I hope you got that. It's a great exercise, by the way. So now, left knee stays bent. Right leg extends parallel to the ground. Your right arm is going to reach as though you're trying to reach something beyond your left knee. So your right shoulder blade's up. Left arm reaches for the ceiling, and then the left shoulder blade comes up too. So it's an isometric contraction. You should feel this in the left side of your torso. And release. Hug your knees in and rock side to side. Awesome. Well done. So from here, grab your block. Don't worry, it's not for core. You're done with that. But your core should be really lit up. So what we're going to do is expose our core to the sky. This is our inversion and it's gentle. If you have a block, you could try mid-level. You might be able to do high level, but just try it on mid-level first. If you're not using a block, find something that you can support your hips on, because you really want this to be a supported bridge. We want to feel the stretch in the abdomen without too much strain. You still need to have feet flat, big toes touching, heels separated. So you lift your hips, slide your block so that your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, is resting on it, not your low back. See how that feels. If you're happy here, stay here. If you want to feel a little more, flip your block to the highest level. And so the idea is this whole solar plexus region, your abdomen, you can think of it as your belly, is really stretched and open to the sky. So just take a few breaths here. So all of those exercises that you were doing were really tightly contracting abdominal muscles, and now they're getting the stretch, and it's a nice passive stretch. So a couple more deep breaths in and out here. Next time you inhale, go ahead and lift your hips up. As you exhale, remove the block, roll your spine down, hug your knees in, rock side to side, stretch out those low back muscles. And then I'd like you to use your block or your towel, whatever you're using, at the skinniest level between your knees. Keep both knees bent and together. Drop them over to the right and let your left arm open out to the left. So a nice, gentle, aligned spinal twist. Just take some nice slow breaths here. So the cool thing about the twists is that your obliques, those muscles that are at the sides of the waist, they're getting stretched now. They were working very hard in your half moon, revolved half moon, and your side planks. So just let them enjoy this nice passive stretch. On your next inhale, bring your knees back up. As you bring them up, drop them over to the left. Let your right arm open out to the right. Obliques on the right side of the body are stretching now. And this should be a super gentle, relaxing twist. So you had a very yang or solar practice today. This little bit that you're doing here at the end balances it. It's very yin or lunar. On your next inhale, bring the legs back up. You can set your block or your towel off to the side. You're done with it. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Give your low back a little bit of love. So your back was very active in a lot of poses too. This side to side rocking with the knees hugged in. is really nice for it, but let's give it even a little bit more. So let's keep knees together and literally put your hands on top of your kneecaps. Keeping the knees together, let's draw really big circles in the air with the knees. You're gonna feel how your low back and sacrum all get a nice little massage here. And then we'll change direction with our circles, go the other way. And then go ahead and reach down and grab your feet or ankles and do a little happy baby. So just kind of check in with your hips and your hamstrings. Make sure everything feels really yummy and good. And then we'll go ahead and bring feet to the mat. And we're gonna do the legs like butterfly wings today. So as you exhale, your knees are gonna drop open and the soles of the feet will touch. And as you inhale, your knees are gonna point back at the ceiling and the feet will rotate back onto the mat. So just go with your own beautiful slow breath, exhaling, allowing knees to drop open, inhaling, allowing knees to fold back up together. Next time that your knees drop open, leave them open. Just rest completely passive for a moment. And then the next time that you breathe in, I want you to flatten the low back, press it into the mat. So what you're doing is lengthening those low back muscles, allowing them to really stretch and relax without too much work involved. Hold that for one more breath. And then when you're ready to release, do so on an exhale. So you just let that natural curve come back into your spine. One more time, inhale, flatten the back. And then exhale, release it. And begin to extend your legs. Separate your feet. Make sure that your buns feel soft so the glutes are relaxed. Make sure that your spine feels really lengthened and relaxed. Shoulders are down the back and yet separated. Hands are down somewhere below shoulder and heart height. Your palms are rotated up towards the sky. Your neck is long. Your eyes are closed. Your jaw is relaxed. Your forehead is smooth. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out the mouth, releasing any remaining tension in the body so that you can completely 100% relax here. Just allow your breathing to relax along with your body. So it's like everything starts to slow down. Everything starts to get quieter. Everything starts to get gentler. Bring your awareness to your midsection. Shouldn't be too hard to do after the practice that you had today. So just kind of feel everything from the bottom of the rib cage to the front part of the pelvis. You can think of that as your stomach and abdomen. Basically everything around your navel. Notice if you feel any warmth. Notice if you have a greater awareness of this area. Notice if there's any gurgling or growling in the stomach. Notice if there's any movement in the intestines. Notice your overall energy and whether or not that is increased or enhanced from when I had you check in a seated position at the front of the mat. So our practice today brings a lot of energy in, and it's active energy. So solar energy or yang energy or male energy is considered active. It's the energy that we use to take action. And that's in beautiful contrast to the lunar energy that is so strong today, that is more yin, more feminine, lunar, more passive. It's more introspective. So knowing all of that, what I'd like you to simply notice is if you feel a sense of energetic balance. And if so, simply rest in that and enjoy it. And if you don't feel a sense of energetic balance, can you intuit what it is that would be required from an energetic standpoint to bring yourself into balance? Sometimes it's perhaps relaxing a little more or focusing more on your midsection. Just being conscious of energetic balance. And so just start to notice the rest of your body. Begin to bring some movement back to the extremities. Take back control of the breath, making it a little more regulated, deepened. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and spread your fingers and toes, and exhale with a soft sigh, relaxing them again. Breathe in deeply again as you stretch in whatever way feels good to you. Extending arms and legs, extending to your fullest length, and then exhaling again to relax. Bring your knees up, perhaps into the chest, perhaps just letting the feet rest flat on your mat. When you're ready, roll to your right side. Pause there for a full inhale and exhale before you press yourself up into sitting. So as you come to your seated position, you find that nice straight spine again with your shoulders relaxed. We've done some very solar-oriented breathing already. We did Kapalabhati at the beginning of practice, and then we did a few Uddiyana Bandhas. Technically, they're not a breath, they're a lock. However, they sort of fall under pranayama. So we're going to do one more full-on solar breath, but this is going to be Surya Vedana, which is a right nostril breath. But I'm going to throw a little bit extra into it for you. So if you are able, we'll be inhaling through the right nostril, holding the breath for the same amount of time, and then exhaling through the left nostril for double, and then inhaling through the right again. So every inhale will be through the right nostril, every exhale through the left. If you're able to hold the breath, we'll do that. And we're doing it as a 1-1-2 ratio. So that, as an example, could be inhaling for a 4 count through the right nostril, holding the breath for a 4 count, exhaling for an 8 count through the left nostril, and then beginning again, inhaling through the right. Now to do this, please use your right hand to block the nostrils. The traditional position is to curl the first 2 fingers under the pad of the thumb. This works well for today's breath. So those 2 bent fingers rest under your nostrils. You block the right side, then you hold, right? Then you open the left side. So inhaling through the right, holding, exhaling through the left. If you can't tuck your fingers under the pad of the thumb, let them rest in the center of the forehead. Right thumb on right nostril, ring and pinky on left. You inhale through the right, you hold, you exhale through the left. Okay? 1-1-2 ratio breathing, Surya Vedana. Inhale through both nostrils, exhale through both nostrils, and then off you go. As you finish out the breath that you're on, just allow your right hand to rest down. Pause and take one more opportunity to notice how you feel. How's your body feeling? How's your breath right now? What about your thought processes, your emotions, your energy? Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment in gratitude. Maybe today, on this beautiful full moon day, I believe it's called a hunter's moon, we can have gratitude for that beautiful moon, and also gratitude for the sun that gives us light, the sun that allows us to see the moon by reflecting light on it. Gratitude for this practice that allows us to see our lives as they are by shining a light on them. Take one more huge inhale through your nose. Big happy sigh. Palms to the forehead. This is a reminder to be present. Palms to the lips is a reminder to speak our truth. And palms to the heart is a reminder to keep our hearts open. To remember that really it's all about love, and that we should practice kindness and compassion always. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate you all. Namaste.